The Perfect Alibi, a Jessie Hunt psychological suspense, Book 8. Written by Blake Pierce. Narrated by Abigail Reno. Chapter 1. Caroline Gidley crouched in a tight ball, used her inner thighs to hug herself for warmth. Even though it was late spring, it got chilly at night, especially under her circumstances. It was crazy that she could even think of them as merely circumstances, but after 4 days tied up in a dog crate, wearing only her bra and panties, with just a thin blanket to cover her, this had somehow become her new normal. It had started so innocuously. She'd been walking to her car after leaving work when a man asked for directions to the freeway. They were in a busy public parking lot, and he was so unassuming and hesitant when he approached that her initial wariness faded quickly. She started to answer, turning and pointing back east. Before she even realized it was happening, he was on her, placing a thick cloth over her mouth and nose. As she lost consciousness, she saw him pop the trunk of the car next to hers. She had one final thought as he shoved her in and slammed the trunk door closed. He parked right next to me. He planned this. When she woke up, she was in the crate, in just her underclothes, with her hands bound together in front of her by tight, thin bungee cord. She had looked around her surroundings and quickly determined that she was being held in some kind of dilapidated building. Loose wires hung from the ceiling, and some windows were broken. There was no interior lighting, and the fading sunlight suggested that it had been several hours since she was taken. Almost on cue, the man had walked in through a thick metal door. Her heart began to thump almost audibly. She could smell her own fear. She tried to set that aside and focus on her abductor. As he got closer, she'd noticed several things that she'd missed in that first brief encounter. He was clearly wearing a wig. His thick, dark hair reminded Caroline of a 1980s heavy metal rocker. His wild beard was also obviously fake. So was the large, pouty nose he wore. She doubted he even needed the thick-framed, tinted glasses he had on. When he got close, he smiled, and she saw that he was wearing false teeth as well. His getup was so over the top.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?